He is an icon, a powerful actor, and the sex symbol of an era. Johnny Depp has been one of the biggest stars in the world for more than 30 years. He went from being a TV sensation to an independent film star. His collaboration with director Tim Burton made him one of the most respected actors of the 90s and 2000s. And with the Pirates of the Caribbean saga, he became a blockbuster movie star. But his life has often been seen as chaotic, and his wealth allowed him to sink even deeper into his excessive lifestyle. Many rumors have been heard. Reckless, violent with his ex-wife Amber Heard, addict. It has even been said that he was broke and had spent his entire $650 million fortune. What is going on with Johnny Depp? Did he really face bankruptcy? What is this money mess all about? Let's unveil Johnny Depp's crazy life. Johnny Depp has never really known a steady life. In his early years, he was already on the road with his family and lived in more than 20 different places to accommodate his father's job. When he was 12, his mother Betty Sue gifted him a guitar. It was the beginning of his passion for music. He immediately started playing with various bands. He even dropped out of high school at 16 to pursue a career as a rock musician. He joined a garage band called The Kids. The group became successful enough to open for the Talking Heads and the B-52s. Shortly after, he moved to LA, but he failed to land a record deal. That's when he met his first wife, Lori Ann Allison, a makeup artist who introduced him to a young actor at the time, Nicolas Cage. Depp and Cage became friends, and Cage advised him to pursue an acting career. He divorced Allison shortly after, but took on Cage's advice. And as early as 1984, he landed his first minor roles in B-movies. But his big break came in 1987 with the TV series 21 Jump Street. He became an instant sensation and a popular teen idol.
Johnny Depp was from the very beginning the ultimate bad boy. He was that guy in a leather jacket, riding a motorcycle. He was soft-spoken with his big eyes, and he seemed very poetic, but at the drop of a hat could maybe pick a fight with someone in a bar. I don't know that his private life was super tumultuous from the beginning, but it was always an adventure.
But fame didn't seem to be enough for Depp at the time. He couldn't stand being a TV product and left the show to work only for cinema and roles he believed in. In 1990, he worked on his first lead role in Cry Baby, a film by camp director John Waters.
Sunday night, you're on television, people think that they know you. They put you in a category and they try to make you stay there. But for me, it was important to do not what people expected.
But his first smash success came that year with Edward Scissorhands.
When I read the script to Edward Scissorhands, I thought it was the best, not even just script-wise, I thought it was one of the best things I'd ever read, so. Of course, I would have jumped at the opportunity, to play Edward.
This cult movie was his first collaboration with director Tim Burton, with whom he would create a very fertile artistic collaboration. They worked on 7 more movies together: Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, and Dark Shadow. In the early 90s, he was the star everybody wanted to have. He was both a serious actor and a sex symbol, and his love life became a worldwide center of interest when he started dating his Edward Scissorhands co-star, Winona Ryder.
We all just wanted to be with Johnny Depp. I think to a degree we thought he was Edward Scissorhands because the fact that him and Winona Ryder were on that film together as love interests and then took their romance into real life and he tattooed her name on his arm. It was the most romantic thing you can think of.
However, they quickly broke up, and Depp started a very public and destructive relationship with supermodel Kate Moss from 1994 to 1998. At the time, his lifestyle was already believed to be hectic, and with his first massive paychecks came a taste for a grandiose lifestyle.
As soon as Johnny Depp started earning money, the first thing he bought was a farm for his mother. After that, he bought a Harley-Davidson from 1940, and in 1993, he bought a nightclub which he named the Viper Room.
A small rock club which instantly became the hippest spot on the Sunset Strip. But alcohol and drugs, which were of course part of Depp's rock and roll lifestyle at the time, led to a tragedy. His friend, the actor River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix's older brother, died from an overdose at the club.
It was no surprise that there was a lot of drugs in the club. River Phoenix, on the night he died, was given something at the Viper Room which caused him to overdose and consequently die. According to Johnny Depp in a recent interview, he was blamed for giving the substance to River Phoenix. There appears to be no truth to that. There's no evidence that that ever took place, but he feels bad about having to live under the cloud of people thinking that he was somehow responsible.
Depp also dabbled with drugs and spiraled into a deep depression. He was seen as the bad boy of Hollywood, sexy but dangerous, like the rock stars he idolized. As early as 1989, he was arrested in Vancouver for assaulting a security guard after the police were called to end a loud party at his hotel room.
He's famous for trashing a hotel room at the time that he was together with Kate Moss. Apparently he was hunting for an armadillo, but no one could ever find.
The charges were dropped against him after he agreed to pay $9,700 in damages. He also has a difficult lifelong relationship with paparazzi. He was arrested again in 1999 for brawling with paparazzi outside a restaurant while dining in London.
He got in trouble with the paparazzi. Apparently he threatened one with a plank.
But none of his antics tarnished his image and didn't seem to have an effect on his professional life. He was seen as a passionate young actor, excessive but talented and true to himself.
Johnny Depp is an incredibly versatile actor, from Crybaby to Edward Scissorhands to Ed Wood to Blow to Donnie Brasco. Like, there was nothing this man couldn't do, and he earned an Oscar nomination for it, several Golden Globes nominations for it. He was that guy that you just wanted in every movie.
After Dead Man and Donnie Brasco, Depp worked on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This film, directed by Terry Gilliam, allowed him to portray one of his heroes, the gonzo journalist, Hunter Thompson. They became friends and, according to Depp, experienced a lot of drugs together.
They were close to the point that when Hunter Thompson died, Johnny Depp shot his ashes out of a cannon, as had been his request, for $3 million, which Depp says cost an actual $5 million, but I think the price tag on that was around $3 million.
And he also worked around the same time with legendary actor Marlon Brando, another iconoclast of American cinema who greatly inspired Depp's way of life out of any norm.
I found Marlon to be incredibly generous, very helpful, really funny, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
The actor starred in Depp's directorial debut, The Brave. The movie was poorly received, and Depp decided to focus on his acting career. But his rock and roll years were about to come to an end. After his breakup with Kate Moss, Depp began a relationship with French actress and singer Vanessa Paradis, whom he met while filming The Ninth Gate in France in 1998. They very quickly settled together in the south of France and had children. Their daughter, Lily Rose Melody Depp, was born in 1999, and his son, John Jack Christopher Depp III, was born in 2002. Depp stated that having children has given him real foundation, a real strong place to stand in life, in work, in everything. You cannot plan the kind of deep love that results in children. Fatherhood was not a conscious decision. It was part of the wonderful ride I was on. It was destiny. All the math finally worked.
When he met Vanessa Paradis and had children with her, it seemed like he had turned a corner in his private life. He said he stopped drinking. They lived a very quiet life together with the children. In interviews, he said that he had found the meaning of life. And all those things, all the fights with the paparazzi or the drunken brawls seemed to come to an end for those 14 years.
And during this peaceful era, Depp climbed to a new level of stardom. In 2003, he became Jack Sparrow in the summer blockbuster Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
There are many pirates in rock and roll, you know, but the one that I thought would fit the bill was Keith Richards as a kind of the basis for the character. So then you start getting into the abstract of Keith Richards, and Pepe Le Pew, you know. and you sort of amalgamize these two guys, you put them together.
Critics and audiences alike acclaimed his performance, and it was at that point the biggest success of his career, and it even earned him an Academy Award nomination.
So Johnny Depp had always been considered A-list since he did Edward Scissorhands in 1990. After that, he did very critically acclaimed films that acquired him a lot of fame, but not to the degree that he was a blockbuster actor. And then when he was cast as Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, that all changed, and he became not just an A-list critically acclaimed actor in indie films, but an actual successful, viable, moneymaker.
This role made him more money than he ever had. And during the next 15 years, he would reprise this role in 4 sequels: Dead Man's Chest in 2006, and At World's End the next year, On Stranger Tides in 2011, and One Last Time in 2017 for Dead Men Tell No Tales, each time with pretty impressive salaries.
Johnny Depp is one of the highest paid actors of the moment. He gets from around 10 million per film up till about 20 million per film, but also with back-end deals that give him a lot more income. So for example, for the Pirates of the Caribbean, he was paid 11 million for his first and 20 million for every sequel. But on top of that, he's probably made an additional 40 million in back-end deals.
He was a bigger star than ever, and with his new fortune came new eccentric spending. He became a real estate giant.
He lives in an estate that he initially bought a castle, and then he just accumulated the houses around to build a compound. And the same thing in France, in the south of France, where he basically just owns a village.
And that's not all. Depp bought estates all over the world, but maybe his most spectacular purchase took place in the Bahamas.
Depp bought an island in the Bahamas for a reported $3+ million, which was an idea that he got from Marlon Brando, who had his own private island, and that seemed to give him refuge. To get to said island, you need a boat. So Depp bought a yacht for $8 million, which also needed more than $8 million of repairs, which is a cool 16 mil.
But his involvement in the Pirates of the Caribbean saga didn't keep him from working on interesting new projects. In 2007, he reunited with Tim Burton for the musical Sweeney Todd.
I've worked with Johnny several times, and the one thing, obviously this is new, is him singing. And that was, as always, was a really great surprise. I mean, knowing he could do it, but then being real surprised that he sounds great.
The role earned him a Golden Globe Award, and in 2009, he worked for the first time with director Michael Mann, portraying John Dillinger in the movie Public Enemies. But in 2012, his private life would take a radical turn. He worked on the movie The Rum Diary and met actress Amber Heard. That same year, Vanessa Paradis and Depp announced their divorce after a 13-year-long relationship. Subsequently, Depp began dating Amber Heard. The couple was publicly seen together for the first time in 2012, not long after Depp split with Paradis. The couple got engaged on Christmas Eve in 2013 and tied the knot in February 2015. It was the beginning of a controversial new era for the actor. Before their marriage, Depp faced criticism within his own family. His sister warned him this marriage could be a bad idea.
His family and friends cautioned him against getting married without a prenup, but he wasn't listening.
Soon after the beginning of his new relationship, Depp had to face controversy for the first time in a decade for his role in the Disney blockbuster The Lone Ranger. The film was a box office bomb that caused Walt Disney Studios to take a $190 million loss. But even worse were the accusations made against Depp, who portrayed Tonto, a Native American character. Many were shocked by this casting choice and accused the studio and the actor of whitewashing. It seemed like something had changed in the actor's film choices.
It seemed like he had a career shift where initially he was known for making films like Blow or Ed Wood, or movies that he felt were artistically important and not so important for the paycheck. But then As his spending increased and as his assets increased, it appeared that the movies that he chose were more for the paycheck.
Around that time, the actor returned to drinking and drug use, and he didn't hide from it. He embraced the lifestyle he always envisioned for himself, a rock star living like there is no tomorrow.
When he separated from Vanessa, he made a point of saying in an interview that turning to alcohol would probably be fatal for him. But now, in recent years, as we know, he has gone back to old habits and is almost proud of the fact that he's dabbling in drugs and alcohol again.
But this exciting and crazy lifestyle quickly appeared darker than it seemed. In May 2016, Heard filed for divorce, and shortly afterward, she also filed a restraining order, alleging that Depp had been verbally and physically abusive. What happened exactly is still blurry, since the two reached a settlement and signed a non-disclosure agreement stating, "Our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm."
What they also decided was to not speak publicly about their marriage. Now, yes, what happened between them could have resulted in the same kind of situation that a lot of men during the Me Too movement suffered, meaning loss of career. But I think in this situation, because the two, in a very strange way, parted on amicable terms, it affected how they both moved forward.
However, the case was reopened after Heard penned an article in December 2018 that described her experiences with domestic violence. In response, Depp filed a $50 million defamation lawsuit against his ex-wife and accused her of being violent and hitting him during their relationship.
As a result, a lot of the text messages, voice messages, and sound files from their relationship are coming to the fore. So whatever Johnny Depp and Amber Heard wished to keep private as a result of this case will probably be public knowledge.
During the Me Too era, those allegations could have cost Depp his career. However, the difficulties establishing the truth of what happened and the support of the industry helped Depp.
Another thing that might have had an impact on why Johnny Depp could bounce back from alleged domestic abuse was that all his former girlfriends and his ex-wife spoke out on his behalf, saying that they had never encountered any violence from him and said that he was one of the gentlest people they'd ever met. And of course, we should believe two sides of every story, but I think that spoke very much in his favor.
Some people still criticize the fact that Depp was cast as the villain in Fantastic Beasts, the Harry Potter spin-off. But J.K. Rowling defended him, and Depp later commented on the controversy by saying, "I'll be honest with you, I felt bad for J.K. Rowling, having to field all these various feelings from people out there. The fact remains, I was falsely accused. J.K. has seen the evidence and therefore knows I was falsely accused. And that's why she has publicly supported me. She would not stand up if she didn't know the truth. So that's really it."
We don't know what she knows. We only know what's public. And it wasn't met without criticism, but for her, it was enough, and the films went on.
But his career and private life were not even his biggest concerns at the time. His financial situation happened to be critical. What happened to his colossal fortune? In 2016, Depp apparently discovered money was running short. His management company told him that he had to sell parts of his estate empire to be able to keep going with his way of life. Depp accused his brother and sister for parts of this financial mess.
As part of Johnny Depp's spending, he bought the ranch for his mother, and consequently his siblings moved in, so he hired them as caretakers of the ranch. They were his employees. And all this according, of course, to articles that have been written and Depp's interviews himself. What he claims is that they were taking advantage of the situation, buying handbags for his mother, despite the fact that she was bedridden, or that once she had passed, there was no reason to hang on to the ranch anymore. So he maybe had thought that this was an agreement that would come to an end, and it turns out it didn't.
But his family was only a small part of the issue, according to the actor. He cut ties with his management company, owned by the Mandel brothers, and accused them of improperly managing his money. He explained he discovered very late his money difficulties and claimed the Mandel brothers hid the truth from him.
Johnny Depp hired a management team to take care of all his assets. And because of that, he claimed that he wasn't actually aware of how much money he had or didn't have, or that he was in financial trouble at all, because he had people to take care of that. Now, of course, his management team, the Mandel brothers, claimed that throughout they discussed the fact that cash flow was dwindling, his assets weren't doing well, and he actually had to get rid of some. And he refused to, and now claims that he just had no idea.
Depp filed a $25 million lawsuit against his former business managers, claiming they mismanaged $650 million of his earnings from the previous 2 decades. But his management team countersued him for unpaid fees and for damages, alleging that Depp was responsible for his own fiscal mismanagement.
According to his management team, Johnny Depp spent in excess of $2 million per month. All of that included staff that he had, whether it was security for him or his family, or he would spend $200,000 a month on private jets because he doesn't like to fly commercial. It was an exorbitant amount of money that he didn't have to spend.
But his former management team went into even more detail. They described Depp as an irresponsible alcoholic who couldn't control what he spent for his addictions.
In the article by Rolling Stone, that the in-depth interview that was done with Johnny Depp, they brought up the fact that he spends, according to his management team, $30,000 on wine per month, which apparently is not an investment if you drink it immediately. He said that that was insulting because, in fact, he spends a lot more.
And at the time, his money mess wasn't even his only problem with the law. In 2018, it was reported that Depp was being sued for allegedly hitting a location manager on the set of his film City of Lies about the murder of rapper Notorious B.I.G. According to the suit, the movie star grew irate when told that production was finished for the day, at which point he twice forcefully punched the location manager in the lower left side of his ribcage and unleashed a verbal tirade until being dragged away by his bodyguards. As a result, the movie was pulled from distribution a month before its scheduled release date.
This seemed to go away fairly quickly, so we don't know what the real situation was, but certainly he was embroiled in a lot of legal trouble at the time.
And that same year, Depp was on the other end of yet another lawsuit with 2 former personal security guards suing him for unpaid wages and their exposure to dangerous work conditions. According to his bodyguards, they had to warn him he was in possession of illegal substances anytime he was about to enter a public space, which they felt was a toxic work environment. Many friends defended him, like Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem, who described Depp as one of the kindest and most generous people they ever met. But everything seemed to be falling apart in his life. He was still working despite being surrounded by controversies and defending himself in the press, claiming he never hurt anyone and that his way of life was his own business.
Looking at it from the outside, it seems like Johnny Depp has finally just kind of accepted the chaos, leaned into the fact that he always wanted to be a rock star, and now he's living that kind of life, the hard drinking, the hard drugs. He came to Hollywood wanting to be a rock star, and fate turned him into an actor. Now he's kind of back to his roots, playing in Vampires of Hollywood with Joe Perry and Alice Cooper, and living that life, and who knows where it leads.
In 2019, however, some of his problems were solved. Even if his financial situation still wasn't clear, one of his battles in court came to an end.
In regards to the lawsuit between Johnny Depp and his management team, they settled out of court just a few moments before they were about to head into court, and all of this would have been public knowledge. They settled out of court. We don't know the details of it, but everyone seems fairly satisfied.
But in 2020, his battle with Amber Heard was still going strong. In the beginning of that year, an audio recording from a 2015 therapy session involving the then couple was leaked. Throughout the recording, Heard and Depp can both be heard acknowledging their anger issues before both agreeing to put an end to the physical violence. It ends with Heard's alleged confession to hitting Depp during their relationship, creating even more confusion around the already complicated case.
I don't think Johnny Depp came out of these tumultuous years completely unscathed. I think it definitely had an impact on his career. However, I do think he's plugging along, making at least 1 or 2 movies every year. And if Hollywood loves anything, it's a redemption story. So we'll just have to see where this goes.
We might never know the truth about his dynamic relationship with Amber Heard. It seems like his life was meant to be tumultuous, and he embraces every bit of it while defending himself from accusations of violence. His image and legacy have clearly been tarnished, but he is still loved by many worldwide. He is still involved in some of the most profitable franchises in cinema history, and great roles are certainly around the corner. One thing is sure, Johnny Depp will never disappear from the news.